So here's what I've been doing. I've been making these videos about how to get better at this game. And they were watching before I kind of blew up. So saw the earlier parts of the process, which is really like this part right here. Tricky Eileen's videos act as a guide for me to learn what is important and what isn't, and more importantly, why it's important. Her step-by-step discovery to me is much more interesting and thought-provoking than simply watching 20-minute guide from players who have built up their skills via legacy knowledge. So, like, they're right. And I never thought of it that way before, ever. How, I don't know if that resonates with other people too, but here's the cool thing that they did. You know how I was trying to make I am terrible at tracking anything? That's why you're here. Well, you'll get better in time. You just got to practice it and focus on things. So basically, they're making a... Fuck, it's hard to show you. Flowchart's cool. Yeah, so it's flexible. So basically, you can find the frame traps with this chart that they're making, with these graphs that this person is making. So, and across stances. So standing, neutral, going into AOP, back turn, coming out of back turn, hypnotist, all of that shit. You can target different attack executions and making frame traps. And this device, this programming device language that this person's done will allow you to do that for different numbers. So you can see, okay, if I want to frame trap a 14 frame mid, like I might want to, what attacks can I use and where can I use them? And why that's so important is because suddenly, can I explain frame trap to you? I can, I will try to in a brief way. And I think over the weekend, I'll make a bigger video explaining frame data because it's actually a huge topic and I can't do it just as quickly. I have to use, it's a longer conversation, which I think is why no one ever really talks about it in depth because it's hard. I'm wanting to pick up Bling, but she looks so intimidating. This might help with that. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, these graphs are also quite intimidating, but it's so cool. And I think it's just so innovative. Going to your YouTube? Yeah. But I'll answer your question here too, which is a frame trap is, well, my video where I go over frame traps is better, but I'll tell you here anyway, whatever, fuck it. When you hit someone, right, with an attack, you are granted either positive or negative frames. Positive or negative frames meaning that you get to act so many frames earlier, which is the unit of time that you use to measure in a fighting game. It's frames. It's not seconds, it's frames. So if I get to move 5 frames before you, that means I get to move sooner than you do. In practice, what this ends up meaning is that if I hit you, and let's say for example, I'm +5, that means I get to attack you 5 frames before you get to attack me, if we both attacked on the same frame. Or really, you can broaden it to do anything. I get to act 5 frames before you, period. But it's most important when you're doing an attack, and they're doing an attack. If you know someone's going to attack when they're negative, meaning you have +5, and let's say they're going to attack with their fastest move, in Tekken, that would be 10 for most characters. So suddenly their 10 frame jab becomes 15 frames because they have to wait 5 more frames before they can do their jab. So that's the number you're going to target. Now, there's another thing in Tekken where if you both meet on the exact, if your attack meets on the same frame as theirs, let's say you're +5, they do a 10 frame move, which makes it 15. So you say, I'm going to do a 15 frame move as well, and I'm going to beat that. But you're not, you're going to trade. You're going to hit on the exact same frame, and you don't want that in Tekken, unless there are certain situations where you might allow that to happen, but you typically want to beat them. So you want to have, instead of doing a 15 frame move, you would want to do a 14 frame move, and that will counter hit them out of their attack, because you hit them before they could hit you by 1 frame. That is the essence of frame data That is the essence of a frame trap. You are very precisely and surgically attacking your opponent and beating them out by 1 frame. The strongest options of yours are always going to be 1 frame before your opponent's. Your character is designed around this. Oh, cool. Yes, do that, please. That's awesome. You get it now? Awesome. That's the essence of frame trap. That's what the frame trap is. And this is why I love your content. That's what I'm trying to learn. Yeah. Yeah. I'm slowly becoming used to the idea that like this content is useful, people want it and like it. That's nice and cool. It's odd to me still because like other creators do the same thing that I'm doing here. I know I have a different angle and a different vibe, which makes me, I'm different in a lot of ways. But like informational wise, it's out there, right? It's not, damn, this song is good. Progress compared to just grinding out so many matches. Yeah, I guess the unique thing here is that I'm giving y'all an approach to get better. I'm giving you a direct approach to get better. That's what's crazy about Tricky. She has drawn some smart folk. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You put it in a way that this makes sense. I see. So it's like more about how I explain it than anything else. I get Third Strike vibes from this track. This is from Persona 3 Reloaded. I do think I'm good at explaining things. I sometimes have a hard time simplifying things down. I try to, but I like to go in depth, especially on things that I like frame data or fighting games and routes and frame traps and frame trapping things that are really obnoxious, like rage arts or power crush moves, and being able to just say, yeah, you don't get to do that when you fight me at all. You don't get to do that. It also motivates me to learn the frame data for my opponents on block. So it motivates me in multiple ways. But I love that feeling of just stuffing a motherfucker out. It inspired you to load up a Notepad Plus today? Research your frames. Yeah. Writing it down. And like, the game isn't going anywhere, right? Like, so what if it takes time to learn it? Who gives a fuck? You at least know this will get you to learning. You just aimlessly play, or you play with the hope of getting better, but you're not focused on it in a way that's systematic, then you're really leaving a lot of the chance. Damn, you made frame data sound so sexy because it is sexy. That's because it is. Yes. So yeah, it's oh, I need to get some food. I'm hungry. Let me find who I think I'm going to send you to Shadosha. But yeah, I'd want to target like 14 frame moves, 15 frame moves. Basically, everything up to like 23. I'd want to know, ideally, what all the different routes are. And whether it's possible, right? That'd just be cool to at a glance be able to look at and say, okay, these are the routes that I can use, and these are the moments. If you knew the exact moves you could target, because that's what frame traps allow you to do. When you have your frame traps, you know, okay, if I do this move and then this move, they can't attack me on offense. Now on defense, it's about, you have to know how much frames you are on block. But once you block the move and you do an attack, now you get to run your shit. And you need to know, well, what can I do? What do I think they're going to do? And how do I fuck their shit up for doing what I think they're going to do? And How many other things can I cover at the same time? So if you keep doing this, 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 and this, the same, 3 things, for instance, what if one option shuts all 4 of those things down? You're fucked. You've lost. They cannot beat you at that point. You're unbeatable to them. That's how you fuck someone's shit up. Especially when they don't know. Where's the Excel sheet you mentioned? I feel F-Champ does a similar thing. I think most players do a similar thing in their head, if not in an explicit way like I have. I have no idea what F-Champ's process is. You can find the link to the Excel sheet in my YouTube. What do you call it? YouTube community tab. It'll be in there. So you can just click on that. You can download it. You can comment on it. You can do anything you want. It will be open to comments so long as no one, it doesn't get weird. If it gets weird, I have to lock it down. So let's just keep it a nice place, and we don't have to lock things down like that. Flowchart to make too much. You make me realize I gotta think more. Yeah. Flowcharts aren't bad. It's just that you have to have options. Everyone technically flowcharts because you do one move into another move. And if it's a frame trap, meaning you can't interrupt between those 2 options, that's a fucking flowchart. But that's solid. That's playing by the frame. But people don't call that a flowchart. I don't know why. I guess because flowcharts have a negative connotation to it. But really, all everyone ever is doing is executing a very complicated flowchart with many branches that, in my mind, I have a. If you're it's gonna sound so nerdy. If you're familiar with physics and electrons and how electrons don't exist in a space and velocity at the same time, right? You can know where an electron is around a atom, but then you don't know how fast it's moving. And you can know how fast it's moving, so you don't know where it is. So you can't know both things at the same time. So the way you know where, and you can't observe it, right? You can't observe it. That's the problem. So it's unobservable. So you talk about where they are in space as a probability field. You say, well, there's a likelihood that they're here and they're kind of most likely here. And they're most likely going at this rate, but they might be going here. This is the range of values they can kind of be going. I'm probably off the base there a little bit, but basically I think of them as probability fields. And when I'm fighting an opponent, I'm trying to gain clarity on, okay, where are you? Where are you in this probability field? And I have multiple branches on my own mental flow chart of, okay, you're doing this often? Got it, noted. Now, in my mind, instead of this cloud in my head shrouding your options, now it's a solid line. And the more and more you do a thing, the more solid that cloudy vision becomes. And if you do the same thing all the time, suddenly it's no longer cloudy at all. It becomes a fucking direct line to blowing your fucking shit up. So the best players are able to cloud and stay cloudy. Are you saying you can awaken your Zaragon? Yes. Yes, you can. I think my biggest struggle with this game from a defensive standpoint, I'm not going to say I know all my routes, my character in offense, but when I'm on guard, knowing when someone is really unsafe makes it hard for me to respond. Plus, I'm very anxious fighting someone that seems to already know that certain moves give me advantage on Lily, so learning how to come up with a way to break guard without being obvious is what I should work on too. Yes, you have to use lows and throws, but lows that give you plus frames. Also evading, sidestepping, throws, depends what level you're at. With punishing them, putting them in situations that force them to guess, and then outguessing them. I don't know, Lily. They all have to know like how you would do that, but if you're plus all the time, then you have to just mix your shit up. If they can't block everything at once. They can't block your low and block your mid. They can break your throw if they're good at breaking throws, but test them on that. If they can't do it, then fuck them. Get fucked. Get thrown, bitch. Get fucking tossed. Get grappled. All right, we have 1 minute left before the ad starts. I'm gonna send you off before that happens.